I want you all to get ready to give this person a round of applause for what she's about to speak about because it ain't easy. Comparison, betrayal, and the brain, why it hurts so much. So, as she gets ready to start this episode, let's give her a round of applause. Welcome back, my beautiful souls, to Becoming with Erika, a space where we heal out loud, grow through what tried to break us, and become everything we are meant to be. If this is your first time here, welcome. I am so glad you're here. And that was a little different of the intro, but I felt like, why not? I needed something to shift the mindset real quick and readjust of what I'm about to speak on. Because today we're talking about something almost every person has experienced at some point. Comparisons, feeling replaced, feeling overlooked, feeling like somehow someone else is better, whether it comes from social media, a friendship, a relationship, work, or simply around and wondering, simply looking around and wondering, why not me? Today we're going to nerd out a little because I'm going to try to record this without feeling emotionally attached here. I want to just speak in the neuroscience way than actually telling my story. Because your brain has a fascinating reason for why comparison hurts so much and why betrayal can actually feel like physical pain. Your brain was built to compare, believe it or not. So let's start with something that might surprise you. Comparison. It's actually normal. Your brain has been comparing you to other people for hundreds and thousands of years. Not because it wanted to destroy your confidence, because it wanted to keep you alive. Our ancestors lived in tribes. Being accepted by the group meant safety, food, protection, a future. Being rejected could literally mean death. So your brain evolved to consistently ask questions like, do I belong? Am I accepted? Am I valuable to this group? That survival system still exists today. The only difference is that now, instead of comparing yourself to 20 people in a tribe, we compare ourselves to thousands of carefully edited lives every single day. Yep, we're talking about it. Social media. Social media was never part of human evolution. Think about this. Your brain evolved over hundreds and thousands of years. Instagram has existed for only a little over a decade. TikTok, even less. Our brains haven't caught up. Every scroll is another opportunity for your brain to collect evidence. She's prettier. She's richer. They're happier. They're more successful. They have a better relationship, a better house, better vacations, more followers. Your brain isn't always asking, is this true? If often asking, should I be worried? That's a survival response, not necessarily reality. I mean, come on, how many times have you went to somebody's page and realized that, the person that you're talking to has either liked or comment on somebody else who does not resemble you or look like you, but you find to be somebody a lot more beautiful than you. Or maybe it's somebody's relationship. Like you see them so happy and so full of joy to be next to each other. And then you're thinking, like, is this the way I'm supposed to be right now? Like, is this distance not supposed to be normal? Am I doing this wrong? Like, is this why I'm failing? Again, comparisons. The brain doesn't see the whole picture. One of the biggest mistakes our brains make is Filling in missing information. Yeah, we're no stranger to that, right? Psychology calls this making inferences. Your brain hates uncertainty. So when it doesn't know the whole story, it creates one. It's just that powerful. You see someone smiling, your brain assumes they're happy. You see success, your brain assumes they never struggled. You see confidence, your brain assumes they've never been questioned themselves. They never question themselves. Like they have no reason to, right? But your brain is working with incomplete data. It's trying to finish a puzzle without having all the pieces. Then here comes betrayal. Dun, dun, dun. Now, let's take this one step further because comparison becomes much more painful when betrayal enters the picture. Here's something incredible about the brain. It doesn't separate emotional pain from physical pain. We've learned that in a couple episodes back. Remember? Listen to this. Brain imaging studies have shown that experience like rejection, exclusion, and betrayal activate some of the same regions involved when we experience physical pain, particularly areas like anterior cingulate cortex, which helps process the distress of both kind of experiences. This is one of the reasons phrases like, my heart hurts, I feel crushed, it feels like someone punched me in the stomach, can feel so real. Your brain interprets social pain as something important enough to demand your attention. Thousands of years ago, losing connections with a group could threaten survival. Even though our lives are very different now, that alarm system is still part of us. Wild, isn't it? But betrayal changes how we see ourselves. This is the part that I find fascinating. When someone hurts us, our brain doesn't only ask what happened, it also starts asking, what does this mean about me? Am I enough? Did I do something wrong? Was I not attractive enough? Not smart enough? Not interesting enough? Not worthy? But here's the truth, those questions aren't evidence. They're attempts by the brain to make sense of your pain. That doesn't make the explanation accurate. It just makes the feeling feel more convincing. But remember our old friend, the amygdala? Yeah, the amygdala is consistently scanning for potential threats. When trust has been damaged, it becomes more sensitive. Suddenly, you notice things you never noticed before. You replay conversation and analyze expressions and read into silence. You wonder if something means more than it actually does. Your brain isn't trying to ruin your life. It's trying to protect you from getting hurt again. And as amazing as that is, here's the problem. Sometimes protection becomes hypervigilance, Erika. And hypervigilance is exhausting. So are some words sometimes. Hypervigilance. Hypervigilance. Yeah. Sometimes protection becomes hypervigilance. And hypervigilance is exhausting. Remember co-regulations? Why safe people matter? Here's another incredible piece of neuroscience. The nervous system don't work in isolations. They're influenced by people around us. Researchers call this co-regulations. Like co-parenting, co-regulations. At least that's what I think every time I hear the word co-regulations. I'm like, oh, like co-parenting. When we're around someone who is calm, emotionally present, and consistent, our, our own nervous system often begins to settle. We literally borrow of safety from one another. On the other hand, when a relationship feels unpredictable, our brain can stay on alert because it doesn't know what to expect next. Sometimes that's just scary. This is one reason healthy relationships can feel deeply peaceful. Not because life is perfect, but because your nervous system isn't consistently preparing for the next emotional surprise. God didn't create you to live in constant comparisons. Here's where faith meets neuroscience. The world teaches us to consistently measure ourselves against everyone else. God calls us to do something completely different, but that's not a surprise to anybody, is it? Psalms 139 tells us that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That doesn't mean everyone is identical. It means your value wasn't assigned by someone else's beauty, success, talent, or approval. Comparison asks, am I enough compared to them? Faith asks, who did God create me to become? Those are two different questions. One keeps you trapped, the other one moves you forward. So let's put all of this together for a second. What we've learned is that the brain wasn't designed to make you feel insecure. It was designed to keep you alive. Thousands of years ago, belonging to a group meant survival. But your brain developed incredible systems to consistently scan for environment, compare yourself to others, and ask one very important question. Am I safe here? Today, those same survival systems are still running. The only difference is that instead of comparing ourselves to a small tribe, we're comparing ourselves to hundreds or even thousands of people every day through social media, work, relationships, and everyday life. Then when our trust is broken, we experience rejection or betrayal, and the brain doesn't just process this event itself. It starts searching for explanations. It asks questions like, what's wrong with me? Why wasn't I enough? What do they have that I don't? How could I be better? What now I understand why he doesn't want me. But here's what's important to understand. Those questions don't necessarily come from truth. They come from a brain that is trying to make sense of the pain, not the situation, but the pain that is in you. Your brain would rather have an explanation, even if it's inaccurate one, than to sit there with uncertainty. That's why comparisons can feel so convincing. That's why betrayal can feel so personal. That's why emotional pain can feel just as real as physical pain. But understanding your brain gives you something incredibly powerful. It gives you the ability to pause and ask a different question. Instead of believing every thought your brain produces, you can ask, is this actually true? Or is my brain trying to protect me? Because sometimes the loudest voice in your head isn't speaking facts, it's speaking fears. And once you understand that, you'll stop treating every thought like it's the truth. You become curious instead of condemned. And sometimes that curiosity is the very first step towards healing. So if you've been comparing yourself lately, I want you to remember this. Your brain is doing what your brain naturally does. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to understand. It's trying to predict. but your brain isn't always telling you the truth. Sometimes it's telling you the story that feels the safest, not the one that's most accurate. Healing doesn't begin when you stop feeling pain. Healing begins when you stop letting pain define your identity. Whew, that's some bars right there. Let me let me say that again. Healing does not begin when you stop feeling pain. Healing begins when you stop letting pain define your identity. Because you were never created to become someone else. You were created to become more fully yourself. And that's what becoming is all about. So before we wrap up today's episode, I want to leave you with one more final thought. If you've been comparing yourself to someone else, if you've been questioning your worth, if you've been carrying the weight of rejection or betrayal, I hope today's conversation helped you realize something. Your brain is not your enemy. It's doing exactly what it is designed to do. It's trying to protect you. It's trying to make sense of your pain. It's trying to prevent you from being hurt again. The problem is that a brain trying to protect you isn't always telling you the truth. Sometimes it fills in the blanks. Sometimes it assumes the worst. Sometimes it convinces you that someone else's choice defines your value, but they don't. Another person's actions are a reflection of their choices, not a measurement of your worth. You are more than someone's opinion of you. You are more than a comparison. You are more than a like, a follow, a comment, a relationship status, or someone else's ability to recognize your value. And here's what I hope you remember the next time your mind starts spiraling. Pause. Just take a pause. Take a breath. Get curious. Ask yourself, is this the thought based on evidence, or is this my brain trying to protect me from being hurt again? That one question has the power of interrupting the cycle, because healing doesn't mean you'll never feel comparison again. Healing doesn't mean you'll never experience betrayal. Healing means you'll begin recognizing that not every thought deserves to become a belief. You begin responding instead of reacting. You begin choosing truth over fear. And little by little, your nervous system learns that it doesn't have to stay in survival mode forever. My prayer is that today's episode gives you more compassion for yourself. That instead of criticizing your brain for the way it responds to your pain, you understand it. Because understanding creates compassion. Compassion creates healing, and healing creates growth. Remember, becoming isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the healthiest, strongest, wisest, and most authentic version of the person God created you to be. So this week, I want to leave you with a challenge. The next time you catch yourself comparing yourself to someone else, stop. Instead of asking, why am I not enough? Ask, what evidence do I have that I am enough? Start collecting proof of your own strength, your own growth, your own resilience. Celebrate the victories, that one that no one else sees, because every journey isn't supposed to look like everyone else's. God didn't create you to compete with his creations. He created you with your own gifts, your own purpose, and your own path. Thank you for spending this time with me today. And if this episode helped you to understand yourself a little better, share it with someone who may need to hear it too. Until next time, keep healing, keep growing, keep asking questions, and keep becoming. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much. I love you guys. God bless.